If you're preparing for the IELTS exam or just trying to sound professional when you speak English, I want you to do a quick experiment. The next time you practice, count exactly how many times you say the phrase, I think, or in my opinion. If you're dropping those phrases 3, 4, or 5 times in a single response, you could be accidentally capping your score. Now, let me be clear. It's not that I think is grammatically incorrect. It's just incredibly repetitive. When you sit down in front of an examiner, repeating the same basic functional phrase over and over signals a limited vocabulary. Today, we're smashing that habit. I'm going to give you 5 native level formulas that will instantly lift your English out of that intermediate zone and show the examiner you're operating at a more advanced level. To understand why this is a score killer, we need to look at how you're actually being graded. As a former examiner, I can tell you that many students spend months memorizing long lists of scientific or academic vocabulary, but they completely ignore how they express their thoughts. If you look at the official band descriptors for a band 7 or higher in Lexical Resource, it explicitly states that you must demonstrate vocabulary flexibly and use less common or idiomatic items. You can't showcase flexibility if every single sentence out of your mouth starts with the exact same 2 words. Now, to be clear, you don't need to turn yourself into a walking dictionary to impress an examiner. That only makes you sound forced and unnatural. Instead, you just need to vary your functional language. That's the sentences you use to frame your ideas. Let's look at 5 upgrades you can use starting right now. Our first upgrade is perfect when a question asks for your position on a general, widespread topic. Instead of saying, I think education is important, swap it out for this frame. It's good for projecting a firm and very confident personal stance. I think public transport should be free. As far as I'm concerned, free public transport is essential because it directly cuts down on greenhouse gases. When you want to sound softer, more reflective and analytical, use this phrase. It signals to the examiner that you've weighed different sides of an issue. This frame is perfect for those more complex and abstract ideas where you want to express a more nuanced belief. That is where you don't want to be 100% for or against something. I think technology has done a lot of bad things for families. I tend to believe that modern technology has done more harm than good when it comes to face-to-face communication. The next frame is your absolute best friend for part 3 of the speaking test. In part 3, you're often asked about broad societal trends, and the examiner doesn't want you to use personal examples. Don't say, I think people do this. Use a speculative frame instead. You can use it when making an objective observation about society or groups of people. I think young people don't read newspapers anymore. It seems to me that young people don't read much traditional print media and are moving to digital news. If you want to keep your speech moving quickly and effortlessly, this phrase feels incredibly native and smooth. It's highly natural, conversational, and is a perfect tool to maintain high fluency scores. I think modern buildings are ugly. If you ask me, a lot of modern buildings lack the beauty of more traditional buildings. When you have a strong opinion and want to inject some weight into the response, drop this high-scoring phrase. Now, this is best used for the serious, formal, or high-stakes topics you'll find in part 3. I think governments need to spend more money on art. I'm of the opinion that government spending money on arts programs is an essential investment for the community. Now, if you've been following my channel, you already know my core 3S plus 1 framework for constructing high-scoring answers in part 1. And if you've been preparing for the tougher, more analytical questions in part 3, you know my idea method. And you might be wondering, Kevin, do these 5 vocabulary upgrades replace those structures? Absolutely not. These phrases are used to trigger the very first step of both of those methods. If you're answering a personal Part 1 question using 3S plus 1, you're going to drop one of these upgrades right at the beginning of your statement. But what if you're hit with a complex, abstract question in Part 3, where the examiner is testing your reasoning and your clarity of thought? That's where you're going to use the idea method, and you're going to use these exact same upgrades to kick off your very first step, introduce. These statements allow you to state your main opinion directly, neutrally, and clearly without relying on low-level fillers or memorized openings. By using these formulas, you show the examiner vocabulary flexibility in the first few seconds of your answer, whether you're preparing to tell a personal story in Part 1 or moving into a more general logical analysis in Part 3. It sets an immediate high-level tone for your entire response. Now, knowing these upgrades on a YouTube video won't change your score. Remember, active, deliberate, and out loud practice is the only way these formulas become muscle memory. But if you want more personal help and want to stop guessing how to fix your vocabulary, I can help you directly. I invite you to apply for my upcoming IELTS live class. This isn't a passive lecture series. It's a small group class with me. You practice these frameworks out loud, and I diagnose your exact speaking habits in real time, just like an examiner. The link to join the next live class is in the description below. Let's do a live exercise right now in the comments section to get you started. I'm giving you an official Part 1 question. Do you think museums are important? Go down to the comments right now. Do not start your response with, I think. Choose one of the 5 sentence formulas we covered today to construct your statement and build it out using the 3S plus 1 method. I'll be down in the comments reviewing your responses and giving you direct feedback. And here's a bonus. When you drop your practice answer below, make sure to include the word free in your comment. If you do, I'll reply and send you my complete IELTS self-assessment checklist. It'll help you audit your own speaking strengths and weaknesses. So if you found this video helpful, give me a like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with a study buddy who needs to break out of the intermediate zone. Until next time, happy studies.